Okay, now I talk about the observed and the observer consciousness, a binary fractal description of consciousness. So when we look at consciousness, in my opinion, um, we need to classify it as follows. There's the observed consciousness and the observer consciousness. The observer consciousness, that is when you say you, yeah. So for example, if I was to say me, yeah, in terms of mind, what does that mean? I'm generally talking about myself as the observer consciousness, yeah. uh, we seldom consider ourselves as the observed consciousness, because remember, you're both the observer and the observed. So as the observer consciousness, you ask yourself things like, what am I looking at, what am I looking at? But when you are looking at yourself doing something subconsciously, yeah, then you, the observer, is looking at you, the observed, yeah. If you start riding a bike and then your thoughts start to wander, and you're riding your bike and everything is automatic, you're pedaling and your thoughts are, let's say you're looking at the trees, and then you stop for a minute and you start looking at your legs. There is a period in there where you haven't associated your legs pedaling with something that you are ordering. Your mind was something else, but yet your legs are still pedaling. So when you look at yourself riding a bike, you're looking at the observed consciousness, yeah. So the observed consciousness, that's on an individual level, yeah. The observed consciousness, yeah, is all the conscious phenomena you're gonna see outside of your body, yeah. I've just explained to you how it's also part of you, but it's all of the conscious phenomena you're gonna see outside of your body. So how do you know what consciousness is outside of your body? To me, simple answer is uh, to know that something is conscious of you, yeah, is to have observed its consciousness, yeah. As soon as you realize that something out there is conscious of you, then you have observed its consciousness. Okay? They talk about ball lightning, where during thunderstorms, sometimes balls of light appear. I was watching a documentary, and these balls can appear to be conscious. They can go towards the wall and then avoid it, and then avoid that wall and then go up, and they appear to be showing conscious, exhibiting consciousness. So when you observe that, yeah, you can see, to observe something, yeah, that is exhibiting consciousness is to have observed its consciousness. You see, I don't know if I can explain that, but to know that something is aware is to know its consciousness. Because what happens to your mind once you realize that something is aware, yeah, you now are observing a consciousness. But once you realize that something is aware, not just aware, but it's aware of you, yeah, this is when you move on to the second stage of what consciousness is, yeah. Because if something is aware of its surroundings, yeah, and it can't be aware of you, yeah, it could be a physical force. It could be, maybe there's a funny gust of wind that's caused it to do something coincidentally, yeah, that appears to show that it's been aware of this and that. But once it becomes aware of you, that's when you know that definitely what you're observing has consciousness in it. Yeah. Now, if we're gonna tie it into what's happening in the universe, or what we're finding out and what we're deducing about the universe, if you look at dark energy and dark matter, if they start to behave like they're aware of us, yeah, then we'll know that those are phenomena that include consciousness in them. This is my theory, that we, as people from a religious background, we always look to the heavens to see signs of where the heavens are behaving as if they are aware of what we're doing. Yeah, when I say the heavens, I mean the stars and the heavenly bodies, comets. If those things start to act like they are aware, yeah, of us when we're observing them, yeah, that's when we know that there's a consciousness among us that is uh, the only word I can think of is divine. Yeah, because you can't tell me that the heavenly bodies start to behave as if they're conscious, yeah, of someone on earth. That must be a divine being. Yeah. Well, obviously, then you have to deduce that it's the dark matter and dark energy around every object that well, that is the location of consciousness for every object, including us. Yeah. So that's what this video has been about. Just basically um, formulating a binary fractal description of consciousness that is not. I mean, all the components of what I'm describing are there, but I don't think they've been put together like this before. So it was worth mentioning.